So, good morning, dear students. So far, we have learned about the different state of matter, solid, liquid, gas, and the differences. Now, we will talk about change of states of matter from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, and how it occurs. The change of state of matter occurs by changing temperature or by changing pressure. Like, just talk about temperature. When we are heating a solid substance, it turns to liquid. That's called melting or fusion. And the same on liquid is heated, it boils and it forms gas. That's called vaporization. And same can the reverse can occur by cooling. If gas is cool, it condenses to form liquid, and when liquid is cooled down, it solidifies to becomes solid. So this is called change of state of matter by changing the temperature. Now let's talk about the first topic, effect of temperature on states of matter. What happens exactly on states of matter, solid, liquid, gas, when we are changing temperature? So first let's talk about solid to liquid, that is melting. When solid is converted into liquid, it's called melting. But at what temperature it becomes liquid? So we call it as a melting point. So how can we define melting point? The minimum temperature at which a solid melts and is converted to a liquid at atmospheric pressure. Please note here, I have written atmospheric pressure. Why so? Because if we are increasing the pressure, the melting point changes. That's why this is normal atmospheric pressure. And when we are melting a substance, so we have to specify the pressure. If it is atmospheric pressure, then melting point will be different. If we are increasing the pressure, melting point will be different. So melting point is defined as the minimum temperature at which a solid substance is get converted to liquid substance and at atmospheric pressure. It's called its melting point. Now what happens exactly when we are heating a substance? When we are heating a solid substance, it gets converted into liquid. But what happens exactly? When we are heating a solid substance, it gets more kinetic energy. The particles of the solid substance get more kinetic energy. They are much more in motion and they move freely. Then with increase in kinetic energy, there occur more vibration energy. Vibration energy of the particle increases. There is more vibration, and gradually or eventually it melts and forms liquid, and the particles now will be moving freely compared to the solid state. So this is what occurs when we are heating a solid substance. So gradually it turns to liquid. Now at a particular temperature it turns to liquid, and that temperature at atmospheric pressure is known as its melting point. Now melting is also known as fusion. We must remember, melting is also known as fusion. Melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade, and which is equivalent to 273.15 Kelvin. Kelvin is a SI unit of temperature. Okay. Now dear students, I want to talk about an important topic which is known as latent heat. Latent heat, what do you understand by latent heat? Latent means hidden, छुपी हुई. जैसे कि 0 degree ice. 0 degree ice when get some heat energy, it turns to 0 degree water. 0 degree ice, if get some latent heat, it becomes 0 degree water. Please look over here. Like 0 degree ice है, उसको कुछ गर्मी मिलेगी और वो बन जाएगा 0 degree water. Now dear students, you can see on thermometer the temperature of ice is 0 degree centigrade, and that of the water which is formed just now from the ice is 0 degree. दोनों का temperature 0 degree centigrade है. Chilled water, ice water is 0 degree. On other hand, ice is also 0 degree. जब दोनों 0 degree है, तो ये ice क्यों है और ये water क्यों है? Because a particular heat is absorbed by ice. 0 degree ice ने कुछ heat absorb की, कुछ गर्मी absorb की, वो आपको थर्मोमीटर पे नजर नहीं आएगी, इसलिए उसे कहते हैं हम latent heat, छुपी हुई heat, or we can say hidden heat. So some amount of energy is required to get converted into liquid, solid. Solid substance required a particular temperature, a particular heat to form liquid at the same temperature. That's called latent heat. And this is for, latent heat is for everything. For liquid to gaseous state, 100 degree, water, boiling water, and to 100 degree steam. 100 degree boiling water will also require some amount of latent heat to get converted into 100 degree steam. बॉइलिंग वाटर का टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, स्टीम का टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. जब दोनों का टेम्परेचर सेम है तो फिर ये वाटर, ये लिक्विड है और ये गैस क्यों? बिकॉज दिस लिक्विड वाटर 100 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड वाटर विल एब्जॉर्ब some amount of heat energy which we will not find on thermometer, because this 100 degree steam and 100 degree boiling water both have same temperature, but this amount of heat energy is required to get converted into the gaseous state. So both here, both times we can see there is a latent heat and latent heat over here. So this is called latent heat of fusion and this is called latent heat of vaporization, which we are going to talk about in detail further. Now how can we define latent heat? Latent heat is actually an energy. It is actually a heat. Heat is actually energy. So energy absorbed or released by a substance during a change in temperature, during a change in physical state. If it is converting from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, there is a change in energy. Energy can be either absorbed or released. If solid is melting, so it is absorbing. If the steam is becoming water, then it is releasing. So we can say energy absorbed or released by a substance during a change in physical state without change in temperature. टेम्परेचर का कोई चेंज नहीं है, जस्ट फिजिकल स्टेट चेंज हो रहा है. सॉलिड से लिक्विड हो रहा है, लिक्विड से वी कैन से गैस हो रहा है, बट टेम्परेचर में कोई चेंज नहीं है. सच काइंड ऑफ हीट एनर्जी इज नोन एज लैटेंट हीट. ओके, दैट्स इट.
We're going to talk about latent heat. So latent heat is a heat required to convert solid to liquid or solid to vapor or liquid to vapor without change of temperature. What does it mean? It means that this heat is only required to change the physical state without change of temperature. Means, for example, 0 degree ice get converted to 0 degree water. So you can see here the state is changed from ice to water, but the temperature is same, 0 degree, 0 degree. So the amount of heat which is required by ice to get converted into water without change in temperature, such amount of heat is known as latent heat. Let's talk about this experiment, melting of ice. So dear students, you will observe that initial temperature of ice is 0, and as you go on heating, actually slow heating, you will see the temperature remains 0 and it remains constant till all the ice get melt into water. So there is a question. As we were supplying heat, there was no change in temperature. So where does this heat disappear? So the heat which is supplied is actually used in overcoming the force of attraction of ice particle. So this heat was used up in converting the physical state, that is from ice to liquid, but you didn't observe the temperature in thermometer. So this kind of heat is known as latent heat. Now let's talk about latent heat of fusion. Fusion means melting. So the amount of heat which is used in converting solid to liquid without change in temperature, such heat is known as latent heat of fusion, specifically from solid to liquid. Now let's define latent heat of fusion. The amount of heat required to convert 1 kg solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as latent heat of